Chapter 7. Stoking the Fire. I smell bacon. I wake up to see Voris crouched in front of the fireplace. He's definitely cooking bacon and eggs again. I wipe the drool from my chin and get myself up. There's still some pain, but my right eye is mostly open and I'm moving with less strain. I make the bed and sit at the table. Morning. Morning, lad. You're ready to see your dagger finished. I nod and smile. Aye, me too. He sets the plates and portions of food. You're chipper this morning. We both chow down every bite on our plates, wash them, then step into the workshop. How you feeling, young Smith? Forrest grabs the pieces he crafted yesterday. You're moving better. Better. I sit down on the stool. That ointment helps. Jiminy knows what she's doing. She could cure the plague. Ho ho! Forrest positions his grinding wheel where I can see it, over top of the water trough. Speaking of which, lad, put that on yourself again. I'm gonna get started. I apply the ointment and watch Forrest use the grinding wheel. It looks like a giant circular stone attached to a wooden frame, powered by a pedal. When he steps down, it spins the stone wheel. The more he steps down, the faster it spins. Forrest gets the wheel moving, then puts the blade he forged yesterday against it. The blade makes an awful sound as it scrapes across. See how me wheel is turning towards me, not rolling away. Yes. That's the right way, lad. Ho ho! You see how you hold the blade? Sharp edge up. Always do it that way, young Smith. He continues grinding away. Did you notice the water trough, lad? Yeah. Why is it under the wheel? Oh, water keeps me wheel wet. Don't want to be rubbing against hard, dry stone. Ho ho! Forrest works on the pieces until nearly nightfall, grinding everything down and then sharpening the blade. My legs are tired just watching him. He has incredible endurance. Throughout the day, I watch as the dented-up dark metal is transformed into a smooth and shiny piece of art. The process is a lot of work, but to see it up close, how a weapon is forged, it's enchanting. All right, lad. Now we heat the blade, and we cool it in some oils. I watch closely as he proceeds to do what he said. When the blade becomes red hot, he dunks it into a bucket. Smoke and steam create a cloud around him. He lifts and dunks over and over again until the blade stops smoking and loses its glow. Next, Voris heats the blade again to a red heat, then clamps it by the tang and hangs it over the anvil. Ho ho! It's almost time to put your dagger together, young Smith. We'll let that cool slowly. While we're waiting, we can wrap your handle with a nice leather. Forrest takes the handle along with a long, thin strip of leather and begins wrapping it tightly through all of the grooves. He circles around the final groove, then cuts and glues it down. Finally, he dips his hand into a weird oil and rubs it across all of the wood. It deepens the color and brings the wood to life. You're ready to see it all come together, lad. It's almost done. I look at scattered pieces laying before me. Ho ho! Pay attention, young Smith. Forrest walks over to the hanging blade, no longer red. He grabs it with his tongs and comes back to me. He grips the blade, tang sitting upright, then slides the quillin into place. Next, the handle drops down onto the tang and fits onto the quillin. The pommel completes the dagger as he secures it at the bottom. Forrest holds up the finished dagger. It's astounding. Ho ho! How about that, young Smith? His smile scrunches his whole face. From a dusty iron rod to a glorious weapon. Wow. My mouth is a gaping hole. Ho ho! Your face has killed me, lad. Forrest cracks up laughing. See how it feels. I grip the dagger in my hand. It's light. The grooves are filled in with the leather straps, and my fingers fit comfortably into them, allowing incredible grip. All of the iron shines brightly. He made the pommel smoother than a pearl, and the quillin soft to rest my hand on. The blade is thicker on the top, then makes its way down to a sharpened edge. It has a slight curve before the tip, along the sharp edge, and the dull top a single jagged notch. Thank you, Voris. It's incredible. I'm cut off by a loud commotion outside. Hmm? What's that? Voris opens the drapes. It's dark outside, but I can see flickering torchlights. Oh no. This is bad. Voris sounds panicked. What's wrong? Stay here, young Smith. Voris's eyes get intense. He hunches down and whispers. It's the Royal Guard. I need to get Anita now. Bar the door behind me, and don't open it unless you know it's me. For it, he interrupts me and grips my shoulder. There's no time, lad. I can see the immense concern in his eyes. Okay. Ring-a-ding. Forrest leaves the cottage. I hobble across the room and put the bar in its holding, locking the door. What is going on out there? Who is the Royal Guard? I hope Nita's safe. Forrest looked extremely worried, and after what he told me last night, if anything happened to her, I don't think he'd ever forgive me. What have I done? There's a lot of shouting and chanting outside. I try to make out what they're saying. All ye witches, burn in hell! Drown them in the well! I hear a woman pleading for her life. Oi! There's one over here! A man's voice shouts. No! Let go! She cries out in pain. I'm not a witch! Shut your heathen mouth! Another cry. Set her ablaze already! A different man yells. I creep my way over to the window to peer through it. Just as I get there, I hear agonizing shrieks from the woman outside. Her vocal cords sound like they're being torn to shreds with every breath as she lets out piercing screeches of excruciating pain. I tilt my head over to see. There are 3 men circling around a woman lying on the ground. They're burning her alive. The flames grow taller, then the men swinging wooden clubs down onto her head. They keep hitting her until her shrieks fall silent. Behind them, there are buildings ablaze and men charging through the streets holding torches, pitchforks, and clubs. I see armored men riding horses trying to control the mayhem. There are children trembling with fear, livestock running rampant across the cobblestone, and women being massacred no matter which way I turn my head. This is all my fault. There's been a string of witchcraft-related activities here in Alba, one of the armored men holler. The streets are running red with the blood of the innocent. You, head toward the farmland and make sure no more fires are set. I'm going to the tavern to try and calm this mob before there's no village left. Yah! 2 horses speed off in opposite directions. I can't bear to watch this anymore. My hands are shaking profusely. I can't make them stop. Each breath I take gets heavier and heavier. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. My body still hurts. Even if I had the courage to go and protect someone, I'd just end up dying as well. I wish I was more like Forrest. Without a second thought, he was through the door, charging into smoking streets when he saw what happened. Doing whatever it takes to save Nita. Instead, I cower in fear, handicapped by my previous beatdown. Thud. I hear a sound come from the cellar. Is someone down there? Creak. Someone's walking up the stairs. Who could be down there? The door's been barred since Forrest left, and I've been here all day. The storm hatch must have been open. What should I do? Is there time to block the door? Who would break into Forrest's house? I'm freaking out. I look around. My dagger. I hug my chest tightly and force myself to move faster. It hurts really bad to even jog, but this may be life or death right now. I grab my dagger as the creaking nearly reaches the top stair. I should get the jump on whoever broke in. I compel myself to charge at the door, dagger drawn, prepared to stab the invader. I can't believe this is what it's come to. I'm 2 strides away as the door pops open. I raise the blade over my head. Smith? Valoria's voice seeps through the crack. Valoria? I drop the dagger and fall to the ground. I almost stabbed you. She drops to her knees and wraps her arms around me. She's bawling. They strangled my mother. She puts her head on my shoulder. I wasn't there. I couldn't protect her. Our home was surrounded by men when I returned from gathering supplies. I saw her limp body. She was already dead. I rest my hand on the back of her head while she continues to sob. Am I responsible for this as well? Are you hurt? I asked softly. No. I just kept running until... She sits up and looks at me with bloodshot eyes. I saw Voris. He told me to use the cellar entrance. He was trying to get to Nita's, but it's chaos over there. The whole village is like this. What's left of it? They started burning houses down, and the fires kept spreading along the rooftops. Half of the village is in cinders already. The village is burning down, and Forrest is still out there. What if this gets him killed too? Maybe I should have left that first night. I should have said no when he offered an apprenticeship. I knew I would ruin everything he's built for himself, but I didn't think the whole village would become a casualty. Is death chasing after me? It seems like every time I avoid it, the consequences get worse and worse. Should I just give in and stop running? Lad! I hear Forrest's voice screaming in a tone I've never heard from him before. Then heavy pounding on the door. Open the door, young Smith! Valoria springs to her feet and runs to unbar the door. It flies open. Dong! The bell rings out an unusual sound. Forrest rushes inside. As he steps into the light, I notice he's covered in blood and ashes. He's breathing like he hasn't stopped running since the moment this all began. Valoria slams the door shut. The bell snaps off its holding and crashes to the ground. Is he hurt? Forrest steps closer and falls to his knees. The cottage feels like it might collapse on impact. His eyes stream tears like a river as he looks down into his singed arms where Nita lies still as a stone. Is she? Valoria can't bring herself to say it. Aye, lass. I couldn't leave her to be. Ah! Forrest lets out a growl of anger, grief, regret, uncertainty, and hatred. The vibrations disseminate the skies themselves and open wide the gates to heaven. The air gets heavy as everyone in the room stays motionless. She can't be gone. I was just with her. I told her she could trust me. She was so cautious, and I led them to her. I look at Voris and Valoria. Will they end up like this as well? I should just let them escape and accept what's coming for me. You two need to go. Just leave me behind, I abruptly shout. They both look at me with immense pain in their eyes. Forrest stands tall. We're all leaving together, young Smith. No, I'll only get you two killed. I'm cursed. Cursed or not, lad, you're coming, Forrest shouts. I don't care what's wrong with you. We've bonded, and I feel a connection with you I haven't had in 20 winters, young Smith. Do you know your parents? I shake my head. Well, I never got to know me son. Tears run off of his cheeks. You don't have to be true family to care for someone, Smith. I won't ever leave you behind. Now, let's go. Forrest heads through the cellar door, Valoria behind him. I follow closely behind.